Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Rape of Lucrece, which is about sexual violence towards women and suicidal ideation. So if either of those are triggers for you, please tune out. If not, today we're going to pick up with stanzas 237 to 240. And this is the part of the poem where Lucrece is telling her husband Collatine and all of these other people that came back in a train with him what happened to her. She had sent a letter for her husband, then she looked at this painting of the siege of Troy, but then Collatine came back and she started recounting to him what happened. She said, you know, somebody came into your bed and I wasn't able to fend him off, basically. And in stanza 237, she continues on saying, "Oh, teach me how to make mine own excuse. Or at the least this refuge let me find, though my gross blood be stained with this abuse. Immaculate and spotless is my mind. That was not forced, that never was inclined to accessory yieldings, but still pure, doth in her poisoned closet yet endure. Lo, here, the hopeless merchant of this loss, with head declined and voice dammed up with woe, with sad set eyes and wretched arms across, from lips new waxen pale, begins to blow the grief away that stops his answer so. But wretched as he is, he strives in vain. What he breathes out, his breath drinks up again, as through an arch the violent roaring tide outruns the eye that doth behold his haste. Yet in the eddy boundeth in his pride back to the strait that forced him on so fast. In rage sent out, recalled in rage, being past. Even so his sighs, his sorrows make a saw to push grief on and back the same grief draw, which speechless woe of his poor she attendeth, and his untimely frenzy thus awaketh. Dear Lord, thy sorrow to my sorrow lendeth another power. No flood my reigning slaketh. My woe too sensible thy passion maketh, more feeling painful. Let it then suffice to drown one woe, one pair of weeping eyes." So she's talking at the beginning and at the end of these stanzas, in case I wasn't quite clear. But in the first of these stanzas, she's like, I don't know how to apologize for this or make up for this, but the one thing that I can hold on to is that he didn't get my mind. My mind was not raped. My mind was not defiled. I never gave in to him. I never agreed with it. My mind is still pure and 100% true and devoted to you. And then the next two stanzas are talking about Collatine's reaction to what she's just said. You know, he's standing there and is just dumbfounded, and his eyes are sad, and his arms are crossed, and he starts to get pale, and he looks like he's about to start saying something, but before anything can come out, he gets, you know, caught up in his own state of amazedness, I guess. You know, I'm picturing him there being sort of like, and just not able to say anything to her. And it equates his reaction to like waves or water going down a stream, but then getting caught in an eddy and getting pushed back into the stream that it just left, and that sort of thing. So his need to grieve and cry and weep and sigh and all that sort of stuff like goes out, but it comes back in again before he can do anything about it. And she puts an end to that in the last of these stanzas. She's like, look, I can't handle it if you're also gonna cry. That makes it that much worse. So for the sake of me being able to get this story out, and for the sake of, you know, holding on to my woe and acknowledging my woe, please let me be the only person crying right now. And she will continue on with more of her story and more of helping her husband grieve through her own trauma in the future stanzas. So I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.